Welcome, everyone. 2023 award ceremony celebrate. We are so pleased to have you all with us this late afternoon, Central Time, and so many of you joining us virtually on different time clocks from around the world. This is a very special event for AERA, for our field, for our community, not only to honor excellence in our field, but also awardees who exemplify that in all that they have done in a variety of arenas significant to the field and to AERA. No one exemplifies that better than our current president, Dr. H. Richard Wilmer IV. And with that, I invite him.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I want to begin by welcoming you to this, our award ceremony, and I want also to take this opportunity to recognize Felice Levine. Let's give it up for Felice. As well as Felice's team. They are here. They work hard day in and day out, hour after hour. So let's give it up for Felice, the AERA team as well. I just want to take this opportunity to encourage those of you who are being recognized. I want to encourage you to continue doing the great work that you already do. I want you to keep pressing to move forward so that you might make a difference, continue making a difference in the lives of young people, in the lives of those who need our support the most. I have the honor also of recognizing the family members and the friends of those who are here in recognition. So if you are a family member or you are a friend of those who are being awarded today, please stand so that we might recognize it.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say that I know that you are pressing forward. You are supporting your colleague, for some of me, your partners in the work they do. And I want to thank you personally for all you do to support them, but also to support the work we do in our field. So it is now I'm going to ask that we turn our attention to the screen so that we might recognize our colleagues who have transitioned.
It's always hard to move from a moment of silence to think about all those who contributed so much to our field, who are no longer with us, who would want us to move forward as we do today in this partial ceremony to honor those receiving awards in 2023. The first of those awards is the Outstanding Book Award.
The 2023 Outstanding Book Award is presented to Hava Rachel Gordon for her book, This Is Our School, Race and Community Resistance to School Reform. Dr. Gordon sets out to dispel the popular myth that the battles over school reform involve two warring factions, the neoliberal reformers versus teacher unions. With Denver as her backdrop, Dr. Gordon documents that the struggles over reforms in school policies and school practices can be localized and driven by diverse and invested community groups who share contrasting concerns and visions for their schools and their children. More importantly, Dr. Gordon shows that such grassroots resistance can be a powerful force in bringing about just and equitable educational change.
Well, thank you so much. I am incredibly honored to receive this award. I'm a sociologist, I'm a social movement scholar, and in studying youth activism and youth activists, that led me into a long journey studying the complicated intricacies of neoliberal school reform, especially as it relates to gentrification. So as I went on that journey, I consulted so many education scholars and so much of their work, many of whom are at this conference, and they have become my greatest teachers, and I'm so grateful for all your work, and I cite so many in my book. I'm also grateful for all the activists who let me into their lives and let me follow their journeys for educational justice and taught me the power of movements and movement coalitions in shaping school reform. So thank you very much.
For you, a research award.
The 2023 Review of Research Award goes to Catherine M. Zinzer, H. Callie Silver, Elise R. Schenberger, and Valicia Jackson for their article, A Systematic Review of Early Childhood Exclusionary Discipline, in the October 2022 issue of Review of Educational Research. Their manuscript documents the accelerating pace of inquiry in expulsion and suspension and the prevention of such exclusion in early childhood settings, attending to multiple levels of the ecological system across diverse settings. The author's thoughtful and replicable systematic review comes at a crucial time when the national and state policy contexts are placing more emphasis on expansion of early childhood education opportunities. The committee appreciated that this review illuminated practitioner-based, preventative solutions that can benefit early childhood teachers and stress the types of inquiry that are necessary for future early childhood education research.
On behalf of all of our authorship team, it's a real honor to be here with you all tonight, and I want to thank the awards committee and the association. I also want to extend a thank you to Dr. Karen Murphy, who was the editor at RER when we submitted to this paper, and all of our amazing reviewers whose feedback and constructive criticism really strengthened our work. Reviews are only possible like this when there are dozens of scholars working on behalf of the children and families who've been affected by exclusionary discipline. And I'm incredibly grateful to them for their work to dismantle the preschool prison pipeline. Also incredibly grateful to the parents, the teachers, the administrators who have vulnerably and shared about their experiences in order to make that research possible. And then finally, I personally am incredibly grateful to be part of the journey of these graduate students who co-authored this book with me. It's a pleasure to be working with them, and I'm an incredibly proud mentor.
I'll echo everything that Kate said. It was an honor to work on this paper, and really just to extend our thanks to people who've been so vulnerable in allowing researchers to enter their lives at a really difficult period of time. Also, we'll put a plug in that my wonderful advisor, Kate, has a book on this very topic. If people are interested in learning more, called No Longer Welcome.
Thank you. Congratulations to all of you. The Palmer O. Johnson Memorial Award.
The recipient of the 2023 Palmer O. Johnson Memorial Award is Christopher T. Bennett for the article Untested Admissions, examining changes in application behaviors and student demographics under test optional policies, in the February 2022 issue of the American Educational Research Journal. This outstanding article examines the effects of adopting test optional undergraduate admissions policies on institutional outcomes. Overall, it finds that enacting test optional admissions leads to increases in the representation of students who hold underrepresented racial identities, women, and Pell Grant recipients. This paper stands out methodologically for its sophisticated use of multiple quasi-experimental techniques, its selection of a comparable control group, and its careful consideration of the robustness of the model to various alternative specifications. Given the recent increases in colleges' adoption of such policies, this rigorous study provides timely insights into an important issue and relevant implications for equity.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to say that I am truly honored and humbled to be the recipient of this award, especially given the wide array of incredible works that get published in AERA journals every year. In particular, I want to thank my friends and family, without whom it wouldn't be possible to take in the years to develop the methodological training that allowed me to do this study. I'm especially grateful to my wife, Dominique, who I'd luck would have it. We'll hear from in just a few minutes as the early career award winner. And I also want to say this award to me really is a good reminder of why we do the work that we do, even when we're not being recognized. This study began at a time when test optional policies were not especially common. This was 2017, 2018 when I began it. And of course, world events have since made test optional policies increasingly relevant. And so I just take this as a reminder that the work that I'm doing, the work that you're doing, that some people may doubt, that some people may not see the immediate value for, can have very strong important implications down the road. So I want to thank the association and the awards committee for offering this recognition. And I will say thank you very much for your attendance here, and congratulations to all the other award recipients. Thank you.
Let's drop it up. Scholars of Color in Education Early Career Contribution Award.
Dr. Mildred Boveda is the 2023 recipient of the Scholars of Color in Education Early Career Contribution Award. Dr. Boveda's scholarship is interdisciplinary in nature as she attends to the complexities of teaching and learning across P through 20 plus general and special education contexts. She is committed to high-quality research centering Black feminist and intersectional frameworks. Dr. Boveda has published 19 peer-reviewed articles, 10 book chapters, and a co-edited book. Dr. Boveda continues to refine two tools she developed during her dissertation research: the Intersectional Competence Measure and the Intersectional Consciousness Collaboration Protocol. Dr. Boveda's deep expertise and research using critical and anti-oppression frameworks is pushing forward the field of special education.
All right. So every night I saw mommy reading her Bible And every Sunday and Wednesday, I witness people of all races and backgrounds admire her analysis of scripture. Mommy, that's my mom, she had me at the age of 44, 2 years after coming here from the Dominican Republic. Mommy doesn't speak English and never helped me with my homework, but she would tell me stories about the brilliance of our elders and ancestors, their ingenuity, and their strength. I learned from her that not all children have access to public education and that my people make the most out of every opportunity we get, especially when it's to help others. I would like to thank the parents and students with disabilities, disabled students, however they self-identify, and teachers of Miami-Dade County who honored the lessons I shared about mommy with them and who taught me how to be a teacher. To all the intellectuals and scholars who have shaped my scholarship, thank you for your reviews, your feedback, your encouragement, and your critiques. My husband and children, you guys hold them down. And finally, to the women of homeroom, they're over there. Thank you for co-signing my conference outfits, my makeup, for giving me the early peer review and reminding me that I actually do have peers in the peer review process. And you know I love y'all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Scholars of Color in Education Mid-Career Contribution Award.
Dr. Tondika K. Chapman is the 2023 recipient of the Scholars of Color in Education Mid-Career Contribution Award. Dr. Chapman grounds her work in critical race theory and social justice and explores issues of equity and justice regarding choice and charter schools, student experiences in mixed race schools, and social justice education. Dr. Chapman's work has extended to international contexts, including the UK, Indonesia, Copenhagen, Norway, and Singapore. This international reach is important as justice work has become a global issue with which scholars of color must engage.
Thank you to all of my mentors. There are really too many to name. I stand here as a product of intense support. I stand here as a product of intense love. Thank you to the scholars who nominated me and wrote letters of support, who stopped their day to uplift my work and push me forward. Few people know that Illinois is my home. I started first grade in DeKalb, Illinois, home of NIU Huskies. I attended the Illinois Math and Science Academy in Aurora, Illinois, go IMSA. And I taught ninth grade English language arts in Rockford, Illinois, just after the last comprehensive remedial order of the United States. I recently lost my first mentor in education, Fred Rogers, who was the director of youth services and activities program in Aurora, Illinois. My mom told my pastor after my first year of college, Tondika needs a summer job. Pastor Hawkins told Fred, Tondika needs a summer job. So Fred gave me a job. He threw me into the deep end of summer school planning, mentoring youth, and summer activity development. It was my first paid job in education. My family certainly deserves every accolade I can give them. But today I'm dedicating this award to Fred, because like so many of my mentors who came after Fred, I would not be standing here today without him and without them. Thank you.
Scholars of Color in Education Distinguished Career Contribution Award.
Dr. William Smith is the recipient of the 2023 Scholars of Color in Education Distinguished Career Contribution Award. Dr. Smith's work examines the ways that emotional and psychological stressors around race and racism play in the success or failure of minoritized students. In 2003, Dr. Smith coined the theoretical concept racial battle fatigue. Dr. Smith's research influences numerous fields, including higher education policy, engineering, sociology, social psychology, and mental health. Dr. Smith's colleagues note his commitment to manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, the cardinal principles of his beloved fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, where Dr. Smith is hailed as a leader, advocate, and mentor.
One minute, I don't know. All right. I want to thank the committee, your selection committee. 20 years ago at AERA, here in my hometown of Chicago, I presented the first paper on racial battle fatigue. 20 years later, in Chicago, I'm home, received this award. I want to thank the committee. I want to thank Dr. Lawrence Parker for his nomination and all the letter writers who supported me, all my mentors that there are too many to name, but I want to single out at least one in this particular moment, and that's Dr. Chester Pierce, Harvard psychiatrist who coined the term racial microaggression. And my departments, my plans for, this is our anniversary for my fraternity, 39 years in, and my mother, a retired school teacher of Chicago Public School, my wife, the best prize I could ever have, Dr. Paula Smith. Thank you.
Congratulations.
The recipient of the 2023 Distinguished Contributions to Gender Equity and Education Research Award is Dr. Jackie M. Blunt. A trailblazer in the field of educational research, Professor Blunt's body of scholarship has paved the way for many scholars and practitioners interested in exploring how women navigate school leadership, gender, and sexuality. Her research has influenced critical conversations in gender and sexuality studies, philosophy, and education. As a historian of education, Dr. Blunt's approaches to inquiry have simultaneously captured the multiple realities of educators and championed for acknowledging the lived experiences of those in the LGBTQI community across educational contexts.
Thank you so much. I'm truly deeply honored. This has been an amazing experience to receive this award. I want to thank everybody who was a part of the selection process in any form, first of all. So over the years, I've benefited tremendously from the extensive network of scholars across AERA and beyond who inspired and challenged me in richly generative ways. My work wouldn't have been possible without them, and I can't possibly name everyone. Also, who inspired me, my partner, Vijay Fleming, my dear friends, and my colleagues are so wonderful, and I particularly want to call out Karen Graves. Without them, my research absolutely would not have been possible. I want to dedicate this award to scholars who are undertaking work in genders and sexualities. It's difficult, it's fraught, it's dangerous at times, but it's very important, and I would argue It's extremely important now. So please, I hope we have more people who do it. Thank you again for this award. So much.
Well, if I were to slip with anyone, Jackie is the most appreciative. We met about 13 years ago, and she has reshaped my thinking in ways that both impact what I do every day and what I think our field is as dedicated to doing. So thank you, Jackie. So now you always get a chance for a redo. So here's my redo. I hope you get a chance for a redo. For the next award, exemplary contribution to practice engaged research.
The recipient of the 2023 Exemplary Contributions to Practice Engaged Research Award is Dr. Christopher Emdin for his long-standing commitment to center his work in community programs that offer culturally sustaining modes of science education. In addition to the reach of his best-selling practitioner-geared book, For White Folks Who Teach in the Hood, and his widely engaged Hip Hop Ed social media campaign, program participants' testimonials about the impact of his work on their science learning offer compelling evidence of his wide and varied impact. For these reasons, Dr. Emdin offers the field an outstanding model of building a scholarly career out of practice-based research.
I'd like to begin by extending my deep appreciation to the most important people in my life, my family, to Ebony, to Sydney, and to Malcolm. Doing the type of work that I do is not easy on you. It takes so much time away from you. It takes time being around other people's children and giving to them a lot of what you deserve more. And I hope that you three understand that for me, I do this work not just for our family, but a collective family of those who've been historically marginalized. And I thank you for riding with me. I also want to thank the committee, because any award I receive, I know is one that is hard fought. And for those who consistently ride with me, my hip hop ed family, our science engineers family, and our babies, I thank you. And most importantly, a reminder that the research is not sophisticated. Research is simply to research, to keep looking. You can't keep looking for someone else. You got to look with them. And for those of us who don't look with the communities, our legacy is tarnished because our ego guides our research. If it's not community rooted, if it's not youth centered, it's not research, it's me-search. And I want us to collectively move towards me-search, towards research. Thank you.
Social Justice and Education Award.
Dr. Mark Lamont Hill is the recipient of the 2023 Social Justice and Education Award. His book, Beats, Rhymes, and Classroom Life, Hip-Hop Pedagogy and the Politics of Identity, is a forerunner to an entire genre of hip-hop in education scholarship. In addition to working with the ACLU's Drug Reform Project, Dr. Hill has served as a political commentator for Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC. Dr. Hill has hosted several television shows, including Our World with Black Enterprise. His forthcoming book, Schooling Against the Prison, Abolitionist Education in the Age of Incarceration, discusses how schools contribute to America's obsession with punishment and offers concrete alternatives to help his reader reimagine schools as spaces that enable dreaming, organizing, teaching, learning, and hope. Indeed, the thread weaving all of the aforementioned activities is social justice.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Felice. That means so much coming from you. To the committee, I want to thank you all. I'm grateful for the award. I'm grateful for you all thinking of me. I wish I could be here in person, but it's this little guy's first birthday party tomorrow, so I had to leave AERA a little bit early. I hope that helps as a good excuse. I'm grateful to my partner, Lissa, to young Malcolm here, to my other daughters, Anya and Anaya, to all the people who allow me to do research in communities, that allow me to struggle with and for them. Social justice is a commitment to leaving the world better than we found it. And I want us to always commit, no matter what kind of research we do, to the idea that our research can leave the world better than we found it, that we can repair harm that's been done, and that we can transform the world. And I'm grateful to everyone who helped this happen, because social justice is achieved through struggle. And struggle is always, always, always collective. So this isn't an award for me, it's an award for everybody. I want to thank you, and I want to say free the land.
The next award is the E.F. Lindquist Award.
The recipient of the 2023 E.F. Lindquist Award, presented jointly by AERA and ACT, is Dr. James W. Pellegrino. Dr. Pellegrino has provided unique and profound contributions to assessment practices through his tireless research combining human learning and assessment techniques. Dr. Pellegrino's work crosses a variety of fields, including cognitive science, assessment, educational technology, instructional practice, and educational policy. He has authored or co-authored over 300 books, chapters, journal articles, and reports. Through these publications and reports, Dr. Pellegrino has offered a plethora of scientifically based recommendations and has fostered greater understanding and improved use of tests and assessments.
I want to begin by thanking the award committee for choosing me for this prestigious award. You know, it's very gratifying to know that the efforts that I made to try to improve meaning and value in the assessment of student learning have been recognized by the tests and measurements community. It's also humbling to receive this award given the list of prior awardees. They are a veritable hall of fame with respect to the area of assessment and testing. It is also extremely gratifying to receive this honor in the presence of my family, my sons, Christopher, Josh, and Seth, my daughter-in-law, Amy, and my wife, Susan. They have been understanding, supportive, and extremely tolerant of my academic journey. And I truly love and appreciate them. And I'm so glad that they're here. And finally, I want to recognize one very special Lindquist Award winner, Robert Glazer, who was the recipient of this award in 1998. I would not be standing here receiving this award were it not for him introducing me to the world of testing and measurement at the very beginning of my academic career as an assistant professor at the University of Pittsburgh. My award is in many ways a testament to his vision for the productive use of theory and research on learning in the design and use of assessment in education. Thank you again.
The Outstanding Public Communication of Education Research Award.
Dr. Annette C. Anderson is awarded the 2023 Outstanding Public Communication of Education Research Award for leadership in combating misinformation about the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on schooling by founding multidisciplinary applied research projects, including health professionals and educators, and curating research-informed messaging and tools for parents, schools, and the public. Dr. Anderson became a trusted source for national media, having over 3,000 media mentions and an estimated media audience of 12.5 million between October 2020 and October 2022. Dr. Anderson's global reach has sustaining power based on co-founding and leading the eSchool Plus initiative, which provided a unique set of tools for K-12 schools and tracked vaccine policies, recovery, and school reopening plans.
First, giving honor to God, who has given me a passion for our country's children. I want to say thank you to my parents, who always taught me that I had something important to say, to my husband, Cameron, who taught me to stand in my truth, to my children, who are the wind beneath my wings, and to my colleagues at Johns Hopkins, who have given me so much space to spread my wings. I do want to say that we largely reopened the doors to the schoolhouse in the fall of 2021, thinking to simply put teachers back in front of classrooms and children back in seats would cure our insatiable national lust for normality in the face of the pandemic. But sadly, what we've seen in the face of this return is that teachers continue to leave our classrooms in droves, that student achievement is stagnant or worse, and mental health continues to be the dominant topic in our national media headlines. Last year, we saw 93 school shootings, and we're on track this year to see that number met or exceeded. Let us center our attention and our focus as educators on changing our national school culture from simply giving lip service to empty promises about change, to not backing down to those who would elevate wealth, access, privilege, and personal interest over the needs of every single student to be safe and healthy in our schools. Thank you.
The next award is Excellence in Media Reporting on Education Research.
The 2023 Excellence in Media Reporting on Education Research Award goes to Natalie Y. Moore. Ms. Moore is an award-winning journalist, author, and playwright who uses her intellect, deep sense of justice, and the power of her pen to tackle issues of race, gender, housing, economic development, food injustice, and violence. Natalie contributes her insightful voice to various news outlets, including WBEZ in Chicago, a national and local news, politics, and education radio station, and she has won numerous awards. An interdisciplinary thinker, Moore brings in history, sociology, and anthropology to her reporting to critique and offer many solutions to issues in our society that are rife with inequality. She is well deserving of this honor.
Thank you so much for this award and for that fantastic description of what I do. I have to admit, when I received the call, I was honored, but I also felt a little embarrassed because I don't cover education exclusively. And so I was like, well, I wonder why I'm getting this award in my head. So I asked Dr. Maxine McKinney DeRoyston, who is here, who I first heard about this conference because she comes to Chicago so much for it. And she said, well, your reporting connects the dots and the research that you do. So I said, okay, because I'm also a wannabe academic. I love quoting academics. You all help my work. I read the papers and it helps bridge the real life experience that people are having by giving a 30,000 foot view. So I'm really appreciative. I'm also a product of Chicago Public Schools, as is my daughter, who will be 7 on Tuesday and is here sitting very patient through this program. So thank you.
Congratulations. I do want to note that these last 2 awards are ARA's more recent awards, established in 2015 as ARA was approaching its centennial year, and our then president, Jeannie Oakes, really thought we needed to emphasize that connectivity, that outreach, and that outward facing, and recognize reporters who do that so well and researchers who do that so well. And that links so much to the theme of this meeting that I thought I would take a special moment to note that in the development of the ARA roster of awards, these are the most recent 2 that in our 2nd century, I think, send a very important signal. And next, one of our most important awards, the Early Career Award.
Dr. Dominique Baker is awarded the 2023 Early Career Award. Her original, visionary, and creative research and publications on education policy describe the challenges and opportunities that colleges and universities experience when they take steps to increase educational equity for students from diverse racial and ethnic groups. Since receiving her PhD in 2016, she has published influential articles in highly regarded journals such as Educational Evaluation and Policy Analysis, American Educational Research Journal, the Annals of the American Academy of Political and Social Science, and the Journal of Higher Education. Her research, publications, and service activities are destined to have a major influence on educational policy related to equity in higher education.
Thank y'all, first and foremost, for the one chance I will get to feel like a Marvel superstar. So I very much appreciate this. Thank you to the committee and the association for selecting me for this award. It has been the privilege of my life to do the work that I do, to do it with the communities that I do it with. I'm honored every day that I get the chance to do this work. It's still a little bit amazing that this is a job to me. And so I am just so thankful and grateful that I get the chance to do it. I wanted to thank the mentors that I've had throughout my educational experience, as well as my working experience, particularly William Doyle and Michael Harris, without whom I don't know if I would have ever successfully completed an R&R. And so I am very grateful to them, as well as my peers. I am so especially grateful for the people who hold me down while lifting me up. That is particularly true for my PhD cohort. They were with me back when I did not understand that Stata could be your friend. And I viewed it mainly as my enemy, who I would spend several hours trying to fight. But it was them who told me that I was someone who mattered, that I was someone who had something interesting to share, and that it was okay that I wanted to share it in the way I wanted to, where I privileged and thought carefully and deeply about the racialized implications of our federal policy systems and ways that we might improve them, or at the very least, stop them from potentially getting worse. And then finally, I want to make sure that I thank my family. Without my parents, I would not be who I am today. And without the 2023 Palmer O. Johnson Award winner, Chris Bennett, I would not have the research that I have, because he's the first person to hear the ideas that just pop into my head. But he's also the best human being that I know. And I wouldn't be able to do what I do without him. Thank you all so very much.
The Distinguished Public Service Award.
The recipient of the 2023 Distinguished Public Service Award is Dr. Linda Darling-Hammond, President and CEO of the Learning Policy Institute and one of the most influential education researchers of our time. Whether leading the National Commission on Teaching in America's Future or as a teacher and professor, she has been a tireless advocate for equity across all levels of our education system. As advisor to the Obama and Biden transition teams and president of the California Board of Education, she has directly shaped federal and state policy. Dr. Darling-Hammond's unique ability to bridge the worlds of policy, practice, and research has led to more effective pathways for teachers, empowering classroom learning environments, and equitable educational policies around the world.
Thank you so much. I am grateful to AERA for its ever-expanding efforts to support action on behalf of children beyond the ivory tower. I have lived in two worlds that often collide as a teacher, educator, and scholar of teaching, and then as a policy researcher and an advisor to policymakers. As we all know, the conditions needed for good teaching are often undermined rather than supported by policy. When No Child Left Behind was passed and then implemented as a punitive force in so many communities, especially those serving students of color in high poverty communities, that gulf between research and policy had become a chasm, rather like the Grand Canyon. Some of you may remember Bob Lynn's 2003, I think it was, presidential address, in which he illustrated how the result of the No Child Left Behind policy would be would lead virtually every public school to be declared as failing in our system. And we had to watch that inexorable process unfold over the subsequent years. I decided then to try to figure out how to build a little rope bridge between the two sides of the Grand Canyon, on which research sat on one and policy on the other. In that process, I've called on so many of you to join those efforts, to contribute your knowledge and expertise, to cross that little rope bridge, to work with policymakers to bring what we know to the work that they do, and to be responsive to the public need to understand, to use that understanding to work toward the creation of equitable and empowering education for each and every child. And I'm grateful to each of you and all of our colleagues who have been on that journey, and to AERA for making it increasingly possible and desirable for that to be part of our mission. Thank you.
Congratulations. And certainly, as we move through our awards, there is no award more important to the field and to AERA than the Distinguished Contribution to Research and Education Award.
Dr. James A. Banks is the recipient of the 2023
Distinguished Contributions to Research and Education Award. Dr. Banks began the academic area of multicultural education and has continued his prodigious scholarship for over 50 years. His writing in theory, pedagogy, and curriculum remains central to the deepening understanding and importance of the concept of citizenship in complex societies. Persistent attention to social studies and to the development of teachers resulted in his receipt of virtually every prestigious award for scholarly and practical contributions to education. His significant contributions to leadership of key organizations have promoted reflection on how social justice can permeate the core of education in the United States and in countries around the world.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been in this position. When I was president in 1998, been standing here with the president. I am deeply honored by receiving this award. I'm grateful to AERA past President Eva Baker, who chaired the selection committee, and to the other committee members for selecting me to receive this prestigious recognition. Joining the other distinguished scholars who've received this award in the past is exhilarating and marks a pivotal point in my life and career. However, I view my receipt of this award not only as a commemoration of my life and career, but as a recognition of the progress and institutionalization of the field of multicultural education, which it has attained since its reception in the 1970s. Multicultural education began as a quest for inclusion of social justice, to give voice to marginalized groups, and to expand the epistemological research paradigm that was dominant within AERA, as well as within other mainstream professional associations. AERA has responded positively to the epistemological challenges that multicultural education raised, including by presenting this award to me and symbolically to the field of multicultural education. Yet, our social justice journey and research is incomplete and is endangered today, especially as the field faces manufactured and polarizing attacks on the teaching of race in the schools from well-organized and funded conservative groups. This award inspires me to keep going on the path to improving research that promotes social justice. For as Langston Hughes states in his poem, Mother to Son, life is no crystal stair. He says, well, son, I'll tell you. Life for me is no crystal stair. It has tacks in it and splinters and boards torn up and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the times I've been climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn around. Don't you sit down on the step because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall down. For I still going, honey. I still climbing. And life for me ain't no crystal stair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That was excellent. That was excellent. Thank you so much, Jim Banks. And to those of you in the audience, please join me once again in celebrating all our awardees. Let's give up another round of applause. I just want to conclude by saying, keep being consequential, keep pressing, keep doing the important work you do. I celebrate you as your president, and I want you to know that your association celebrates you as well. Thank you for all you do for us and on behalf of our association.
There's no way to top what we've experienced just now. So let's take a moment to reflect on not just our awardees, who are so deserving, and we congratulate each of you, but all of you joined with us today. And this concludes the formal part of our award ceremony, but as Rich just said, the work continues, and the objectives of moving ahead consequentially are of significance to us here.